Something like the last few years, we used to have a challenge every few years with things, interest rates, recessions. The last 3 or 4 years, it's been one thing after another with wars and pandemics and cost of living crisis and
because you've lived through a lot. I was thinking that, I guess container shipping was a massive thing that really came to fruition in the 70s and 80s, so that's very much in your time, Andrew. And then I'm thinking to the 90s. I can remember as a kid walking around, and it was Cheltenham High Street, and I don't know why, I think it was being pointed out to me by one of my parents that look at these rates for mortgages, and it's like 17%.
Yes.
17% is eye-watering even by today's standards. But yeah, you've lived through all of that. And then rates from there almost collapsing at one stage.
I think when Eddie first became a partner, interest rates were 17%, and the top rate of income tax was 98%. People just don't believe that.
So with that top rate of income tax, it could exceed 100% under some circumstances.
Yeah, that's why not Elton John, he refused to leave, didn't he? Him and Rod Stewart fell out because Rod Stewart left the country, Tom Jones left the country. A lot of top entertainers just moved away immediately.
Destination of choice.
I don't think it was for very long that they were at those rates, but
no,
it was definitely 1974.
That was Dennis Healey, wasn't it? And then Nigel Lawson shocked everybody by bringing the top rate down to 40%. I can't quite remember when that was.
I think it's the highest rate we've seen, 50%. I don't remember anything over and above that.
Didn't Lawson cut some tax bands as well? And he cut some. Yeah, he knocked some out. Didn't he?
He completely changed the shape of tax.
So in all you've seen a few chancellors, and obviously they have a fair impact on your work and your role. Favourite chancellor?
You're having a laugh, aren't you?
Could there be one?
Well, probably Lawson, because he took the top rate of tax right down to 40%. That was a very bold move.
Who put entrepreneurs relief up to 10 million, Andrew? Can you remember?
No. I don't like Chancellors of the Exchequer full stop, because they keep changing the rules. And so when I did the tax exams, you get to take the legislation in with you. When I did them, there were 2 books, big books. And now the same legislation, there's 7 or 8 books, big books.
And you're taking a suitcase in with you.
Yeah, and not only, they're about the same size physically. However, the paper is thinner and the font is smaller. We've got an absolute mass of tax legislation, and some of it's well written, some of it's completely and utterly impenetrable. I can remember once doing something with someone that was between the US and the UK and talking to the US tax guy, and it was an inheritance tax thing. And he said, "Oh, I hear what you're saying. I'll send you my legislation." And so he sent through a paragraph of legislation in normal English. It was dead easy to understand. And then I had the embarrassment of sending him over 2 pages of absolute tortuous legislation that was the stuff that I was dealing with. And I'm thinking, God, I wish I was a tax accountant in the States, not in the UK.
That's one of the benefits of only having a small amount of history.
Yeah.
If you look at our 6th of April tax date, what a load of nonsense.
Yeah.
But we're talking 1,000 years of legislation, aren't we?
I've heard that.
They have consolidated it.
I'm sorry.
They've consolidated it, but they've never made it. I mean, I've got to say, I think the States is probably as complicated as us now because of all the different state laws and.
That's the thing.
That is an impossible question, Chris. Favourite chancellor?
Sorry, it was a bit of a
Helmut Kohl.
A hiding to nothing. That one, hiding to nothing.
Yeah.
Well, he almost would have been our Chancellor at one stage, because weren't we pegging our rates to the Deutsche market in the early 90s? So I can't remember where he was, but yeah.
I think George Osborne introduced the £10 million entrepreneurs relief.
I think you're right.
That was a very nice one. Unfortunately,
For
now
clients.
rescinded.
Yes.
So if the tax system was a book, if it was all like one book, I know obviously you say that's impossible, Andrew, and I totally get it. But if it was all in one book, I think it would be something. It would contain something like over 11 million words. 11 million words, which apparently is more than the average human being reads in their entire lifetime.
And probably a third of them are no.
Random fact.
Yeah.
No,
That
you
doesn't
can't.
surprise me in the least.
Would be the majority of the text.
Who would want to? But yeah.
We'll get you if you do this.
Legislation says no.
Yeah.